Let's begin. Any changes to the agenda? The regular agenda?
Yes, Commissioner Hill. We do have a change to the consent agenda. We need to remove consent agenda item G and then discuss that maybe after the regular consent agenda.
Okay, so we need a motion. Do we have a motion to remove item G out of the consent agenda and move it to, it would be then item 1 on the regular agenda, and then 2 would be recognition of audience, 3 would be director's report, and so on.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Same sign, or opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, so now we'll ask to approve the consent agenda minus letter G.
Motion to approve the amended consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Jeff, please poll the board.
Commissioner Rosted,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Aye.
Commissioner Dawson,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye. Okay, so moving on to item 1, which would then be consent agenda, former consent agenda, item G. So that
Dave
would be,
present
yeah,
it?
Dave.
Yes.
Dave. thank
Yeah,
you.
sorry about that, Commissioners. Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Thank you, Commissioners, for allowing us to pull that from the consent agenda. As we were reviewing materials today, it was brought to our attention that we made a clerical error on the memo for consent agenda item G. If you remember, that memo relates to the purchase and approval of bids for the purchase of the 2024 Park District Park Maintenance equipment. What we did is it refers to specifically item number 4 within that memo. The clerical error that we made is we had the wrong wording for item number 4 in the memo. Everywhere else in the packet materials, so the bid tab, the vendor, the description narrative, the cost and photo are all accurate. But within the memo itself, we had wrong wording. The correct wording for item number 4, instead of the Snow Wolf wheel loader snow blower, it should read what I've printed for the handout for you as the Hitch Dock HDS 9200 work tool. And so basically what that is, it's a front-mounted snow blower for one of our loaders. And so we found that mistake today. I apologize for that mistake, but we wanted to bring that to your attention so you could approve it with the correct wording as it's intended.
So all we did was call a gadget a gadget.
Pretty much, exactly right.
We're getting all the same stuff that we had talked about at facilities and everything, price and everything's the same.
Exactly,
Okay.
correct.
Does this keep us legal from a procurement standpoint?
It does, and that's one of the things that we worried about and talked about today is, none of the dollars changed, but the name did change. And so if it's, looked at down the road or tomorrow, it would state that we're actually purchasing a different name of that piece of equipment. So we wanted to make sure that this was accurate.
Okay.
All right, so I move to award the bid package number 1 from MTI Distributing Inc. with a bid award in the amount of $609,161 for the 2024 Park District Maintenance Equipment. Bid award to Acme Electric in the amount of $155,631 for Kubota 130 HP 4-wheel drive tractor with Norman snow blower and 1815 alternate for a slide discharge for a total amount of $157,466, and a Kubota L5460 HST tractor in the bid amount of $42,450, and bid award in the amount of $64,999 to Butler Machinery for a Snow Wolf wheel loader snow blower as presented.
And actually, that's the incorrect language
That's the
in
incorrect.
that. So I handed you out a sample
Oh,
motion.
geez.
And
Okay.
basically,
All right.
Yeah.
I move to.
Everything there
amend
is
my
accurate.
Motion.
Break your motion.
I move to approve the 2024 Park District Park Maintenance Equipment bids as amended. There.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Jeff, please poll the board.
Commissioner Rosted,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Aye.
Commissioner Dawson,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye. Thank you for reading all that, though, Jerry.
I felt like,
And again, it's all accurate
Great
except
job.
for
I felt like
the
Tim
name.
Allen. I wanted to
As
do
you
a-
were reading, I was like, somewhere in there, it's going to have the other words.
Thank you, commissioners.
All right, moving on. Recognition of audience public comments. Do we have anybody here tonight who would like to speak, who is not on the regular agenda? Anybody? Seeing none, hearing none, we will move on to the director's report. Susan?
Good evening, Commissioners. We just have a few updates tonight for the Director's Report. Just wanted to provide a little bit of an update on the strategic planning committees that we've been working on with our consultant, Dr. Schatz. And again, as a reminder, those dates have been set for January 17th, January 31st, February 21st, March 6th, and then we have a fifth potential date scheduled if needed on March 20th. And we've had really good response from our community partners that we reached out to invite in to participate in those strategic planning committees. Right now, we have 36 participants, and that does include some of our Park District staff, along with those community partners. Another thing that we are working on, our marketing communications team is working on an update to our website. We want to make sure that throughout the committee meetings that we're providing regular updates on the agendas of those meetings and some of the conversations and discussions to make sure that we're continuing to update the public and keeping people informed on our strategic planning process. So that should be live soon.
We need to proof it and then it will be live.
Yeah.
Susan, will you run through those dates real quick again?
Yep, January 17th, January 31st, February 21st, March 6th, and March 20th.
Thank you.
And those meetings are held, will be held from 4 to 6. And the majority of the meetings will be at the Fargo Dome. The first meeting on the 17th will be held at Boy Scouts of America.
Could we maybe have Tara or someone send us invites to those, please?
Yep.
Calendar invites, thank you.
Yep, we can certainly do that. So we're just kind of finalizing that agenda for the first meeting. A lot of that will be more of just kind of education, providing information to the strategic planning committee on, our current organizational structure, some current park district initiatives, just trends overall in parks and recreation. So again, looking forward to kind of really kicking that off with the community. Another update is some sports center tours. We have in the process, and we'll be sending out invitations here this week to all of the local legislators to get some of those folks in to see our beautiful new Fargo Park Sports Center. We've selected some dates on February 9th and February 16th. We'll have 2 different time slots on both of those dates that we'll offer tours, 1:30 and 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. And we'll also get invitations out to each of you to invite you along for those tours. And then just one of the last updates is Giving Hearts Day. We're getting close to February 8th, and the campaigns for Giving Hearts Day will be kicking off this week for the Fargo Park District Foundation and Valley Senior Services. Again, you can go on right now already and start giving with givingheartsday.org. And I'm sure Craig might touch a little bit more on that in his presentation. Courts Plus, if anyone is feeling super strong, there's a powerlifting event this Saturday from 8:30 to 3. I thought about signing up, but still kind of considering that. And just a quick update from our parks team is they are diligently working to try to get some of our outdoor ice rinks open now that the weather is cooperating. We'll have Horace Mann, Kennedy, and Centennial rinks open starting tomorrow. And then we'll be working on several more throughout the weekend, really just kind of depending upon the weather and if we get any snow. It's the same team of staff who remove snow and work on the rinks.
So we're starting with those 3 and then potentially adding more or planning on adding more.
Correct. As long as we don't receive any measurable snow, the crews are are pretty optimistic that we could have another handful ready by the weekend. And then again, depending on weather and temperature, that we could even add more early and mid into the next week.
How many outdoor rinks do we have?
16 outdoor rinks, including Broadway Square.
Some manned, some unmanned,
Correct.
same
we-
as historically.
Talked about this in the past, but with temporary part-time help that's been sitting around waiting for ice, then how does that work? Are they around? I mean, there's plenty of jobs to be taken out there. So I don't know. It just seems like.
We have lost a couple of people that we had lined up, so that is a great challenge. And the question about staffing and which rinks we're contemplating this year of, some of these rinks that we're opening early don't typically fall into the criteria of where we've had them staffed before. Just in order to preserve some of those seasonal people, part-time help, we're gonna have people working in those rinks right away. And a large part is just to secure them as we open other rinks, that we then have people to help us with that.
Painful to have to, I mean, I love the weather, but trying to save staff and keep them.
Well, your ice should stay frozen this weekend.
It should.
Now you just need some snow for your cross country.
Yeah, exactly.
Or not is fine too.
All right, any other updates?
Nope, those are all the updates we have for tonight.
Perfect. Any other questions? All right, moving on to department update. We have the events team.
They bring a village. Uh-huh. Way to go, Stephanie.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Oh, did I go the wrong way? Wait, which way? Wait, is that right? Oh, I see.
Yep. Now you're going backwards.
Oh, wait. Okay, first time here. Okay, so first of all, thank you, commissioners, for allowing us to be here tonight to talk a little bit more about our department and what we do throughout the year. So we're going to do some introductions first. My name is Stephanie D'Ambrosio. I'm our event manager, so I oversee all of our events, and I've been with the Park District. I just hit 6 years this month.
Hi, I am Tatiana Fries. I'm one of the event supervisors, and I have been with the Park District for 2 years full-time.
My name is Pace Meyer, and event supervisor as well, and I've been with the Park District for 4 years.
My name's Caitlin Matson. I've been at the Park District for about 6 months, and I'm also an event supervisor.
So just a quick at a glance. So we have 50 plus unique events. So that is anything from our small events like S'mores and More that we had last night, or our big events, Midwest Kid Fest, Island Park Show, those kinds of things. We average, this is a good estimated, 50,000 plus event attendees across all of our events throughout the year. With that, we're in 25 parks across Fargo. We have 100 plus event days annually. So that's our multi-day events, including setup and teardown. We're on the event grounds 100 plus days over the year. And we have our four full-time staff. And then we have around 30 seasonal staff that help us at our events. So instead of going over every single 50 of our plus events, which we would love to talk about every single one of our events, we're just going to highlight some of our new events and some of our bigger events or events that we thought you guys might find of interest. So the ones that we're going to go over through fall and winter are Fall in Fargo, Santa Village, the tree lighting, and pond hockey.
Okay, so Fall in Fargo is our fall-based event. We have that at Row Farm. It used to be called Fall Festival, but in 2019 we changed it to Fall in Fargo. So that event attracts about 10,000 attendees each year, and it's held over 2 weekends. And that one we do have like a pumpkin patch, so we sell about 2,000 some pumpkins, and we also have a sponsorship with Sparklight. So they are a huge sponsorship because they want to give each kid one free pumpkin. So at least one kid leaves with a pumpkin that day. So it's a really good partnership with them. And then at that event, we also have carriage rides, barrel train rides, and a bunch of other fun fall activities. How do you click? Thank you. And then Santa Village, which we just finished up, is our Christmas themed event. So that is also held at Row Farm. It's held throughout the month of December on the weekends leading up to Christmas. That is a very big event for us. We get about 13,000 attendees throughout the course of the month-long event. That one, we really highlight the season of giving. So season of giving is just giving back to the community and helping those who are less fortunate than some during the holiday season. So through that, we get to raise we raised over $2,500, which half is donated to the Sanford Children's Miracle Network, and the other half is donated to the First Links Giving Tree of Hope. And then we also have children write letters to Santa, and then those letters through Macy came up with this idea to every letter written to Santa is then $1 donated to Make-A-Wish Foundation. So that one we got about $1,500 or 1,500 letters, which is equivalent to $1,500 donated to Make-A-Wish Foundation. And then we also get toys donated. So this is new or gently used toys, which goes to the YMCA, and they distribute that for us. And then Great Plains Food Bank, we also get canned goods, non-perishable goods, and that was about 1,400 pounds this year that was donated. This year, we had the addition of the sensory-friendly night. So we had a sensory-friendly zone where kids could go and relax, since there's a lot of lights and a lot of noise at Santa Village. And then we had a special night, which was on the first Friday night of Santa Village, where they could come see Santa Village in a more relaxed setting. We did that we had North Dakota Autism Center help us make sure that we were doing it correctly, as they're the experts. So they helped guide us in how we should run the night. And they also gave us sensory kits that kids were able to check out while they were attending the event.
Before you
Yep.
move on, probably the same question is,
Probably.
give me some more feedback. How that was a great sensory. How did it go? Lessons learned. I'd be interested.
So, I mean, it was a very well-attended night. I would say, our night, but we did have a lot of people, but it didn't feel busy. So that was really good. I would say it was a very, very good first year of implementing it. I'm excited to continue implementing it years to come. Again, I think it went really well. I know in my head that we'll probably have more of an exclusive time with Santa right at the beginning, so that way the kids can see Santa more one-on-one, and the house gets kind of congested. So we want to have the kids be able to have time with him in not such a small space. So, but overall, I thought it went very well. We heard a lot of good feedback, so I think it was good implementation.
And that did happen this year, where Santa and Mrs. Claus read a story to everyone. So we did have that time where they could see Santa and Mrs. Claus outside the house. That can be very overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask, what were some of the recommendations that were given to you?
We met with the North Dakota Autism Center a couple of times. So they said to dim lights. So we had less lights. If there was any blinking lights, we turned those off so they weren't on. The music that we do have playing, we had that lowered so it wasn't so noisy. The sensory kit bags we had right at the front, so then kids could check them out right away. They saw right where they were. Granted, on our map that we called it the Little Red House, so that was the sensory area, so they could check out the sensory kits throughout the event, but at this specific night, they could grab the kit right away.
What was in the kit?
So the kit contained fidget spinners. They were the noise canceling headphones, kind of things to just play with. So that way they kind of have some kind of other thing to distract themselves or just play with while they were attending Santa Village.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing the answer is yes, but do you anticipate using what you learned from this event and adding it to other events that we're doing throughout the year?
Yes.
would
Yeah,
expect
very
that.
much so.
So it's a much learning event.
Yeah, and we also had North Dakota Autism Society. They came out and did actually a presentation to a lot of our staff. So we set that up with them. So any staff who wanted to come, Park District wide, came. We did it in this room, and they did a training for us. Just how can we be more inclusive, different interactions. So we were able to ask questions, really pick their brains. And I know that has now translated into some of our programs, reaching out and working with them, and a lot of people Park District wide because again, you know, that can be a lot for people to attend these events. There's a lot of noise, which is great, which is what we want, but we also want it to be inclusive for everyone. So definitely moving forward, we'll find ways to do this across all our events.
And the kits that you use are owned by the Autism
Yep,
Society?
they're owned by the North Dakota Autism Center, so they provided them for us. But our whole team has been slowly working on purchasing supplies to make our own kits. But as of right now, it works out that North Dakota Autism Center has them, and they're more than willing to donate a couple of them for us to borrow for
Sure.
our events. So
Well, and I could foresee us having them at some of our facilities. I mean, I think of kids going to their siblings' events and games and everything else where it's chaos.
yeah, they're great kits.
And I think having the separate space at Santa Village was also huge, because if there's a space that if somebody is having a really hard time or is feeling really overwhelmed, that they can go in and it's kind of a break from the noise. They're not quite ready to leave the event, or maybe it's just one sibling who needs a break. We saw a really great response with that.
Were there a lot of ages, or was there?
Yeah, I would say it was varied in ages. So, it was from younger kids to, because then it kind of helps, even if they don't need that sensory night, it kind of is good for them as well, just because it's a little bit more quiet for parents to bring the younger kids as well. But we saw ages from, very little to, older adults even. Yeah, definitely. So we saw all ages attend.
Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a really good program. When you talk to the Autism Center or the people from there, did they give you any indication of statistical growth in this population?
Yeah, we actually had a whole presentation that they prepared for us in a training. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, we could pass that along. And because that they came and did this training with us, we are now, I'm not going to have the exact words by it, but certified in this inclusivity. So what that means that on our events, we can put their logo and now say that we have taken the training, we're working on taking the right steps. We're never going to be perfect, but we're doing our best. But the statistics, I don't remember any off the top of my head, but as we grow, so does this population. And this population also deserves and needs to have outlets and events and be able to utilize our program. So it was a very eye-opening presentation, and something that I know we are now using for our part-time staff. I know there's other departments that are using for their part-time staff as well.
Thank you.
Yes.
Did the North Dakota Autism Center kind of help advertise that as well? Get the word out? Okay, good.
Yep, they did. It was definitely a thing that we did. And Tatiana will touch on it, but we first started working them with Midwest Kid Fest. So they've been a really great partner with us.
And all completely free, by the way, right?
Yes.
Santa Village, all free,
All free except for the carriage rides.
except for the
Yes.
carriage rides. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, the next one we're going to talk about is the tree lighting. So that takes place the Tuesday before Thanksgiving every year. It's a great event to kind of kick off the holiday season, located at Broadway Square in downtown Fargo. So this year we had reindeer, we had s'mores kits, Santa and Mrs. Claus made an appearance, as well as carolers. We also had speakers, so Commissioner Deutsch talked, as well as Susan and Mayor Mahoney. So that's just a really great event to kick off the holiday season, and there was lots of people, over 400 people attended this year, so it's a great event.
I think you're underestimating that number
Agreed.
by a lot.
That was based on cell phone records, so it didn't count children, I guess. So let's say 800.
It was, every year it gets bigger and better.
And Mayor Mahoney was wearing a Fargo Park District hat.
Real win.
Yeah, we had really cute beanies. Thanks, marketing.
I just remind me, why is it the tree comes down so soon? I just noticed last week they were taking all the lights down in the tree.
Yeah, I know it typically comes down after New Year's, but I did talk to forestry and they said they were having some issues with the lights this year, and so it was easier just to take it down and fix the lights than try to get up on a ladder and replace them.
Yes. During the Christmas ice storm, we encountered some difficulties with our electricity down there. So there was some shorting out, but we definitely realized that the holiday season lasts longer than just into the first part of January. So Susan and I have talked about this. We see this as an opportunity in the future that, potentially we can leave that up longer. We know that it's a popular draw for the space. And so that's something we're considering. But this year it was mainly due to that failure of the electricity there.
I do know when we first put it up, we talked about do you leave it up all the time, all year round? I know we went into the whole, well, you can change the colors for different seasons, and then we discussed how do we preserve the longevity of the tree? And
Exactly.
so I think that was a factor too of don't have it permanent, because some of the thrill is that it comes and goes.
That's what I was going to say is you want to still create that magical moment of it coming up for the first time of the year and it being lit. But I definitely think there's more avenues to extend it.
Yeah, but it makes perfect sense if it was taken down for maintenance.
Yeah, that's
reasons.
right. And I think, it's a dark time of the year, January, everybody's kind of looking into this being a long winter. It really creates a lot of cheer down there. And then with the skaters there too, I think it kind of prolongs the feeling of celebration and of the time of the year. So
You still have all those festive candy canes up, retro things up.
Cool. So in February, we hold three weekends of pond hockey, and we have a youth pond hockey and an adult pond hockey. The youth pond hockey is February 3rd, just the first weekend there, and then the adult pond hockey is the 2 weekends after that. So the youth pond hockey, both of these started 3 years ago. The events team started this, and it's growing every single year, which is super cool. So up at Lindenwood, they have the 6 ice rinks there, and it's a very fun event there. So the goal is to kind of encourage kids to get outside and play with their friends, little 3-on-3 action, no goalies, and just have some fun for the day. So the youth, 25 kids, teams of 8, ranging from about 5 to 11 years old. On the adult side, like I said, 2 weekends in February coming up here, so that's super exciting as well. We have novice, silver, and gold divisions, and that's 20 teams each weekend as well there up at Lindenwood. So getting excited for that.
So are those 3 weekends, do they sell out?
Yes.
So we cap it.
Yes, yep.
And do you-
Registration based and-
how many rinks do you have?
6. Yep.
Okay. You probably already said that, sorry.
It's all right.
And the ground's going to be frozen. So this will be good.
You won't have to move snow to put the ice in.
Yeah, that's another event, the pond hockey, that I've noticed you guys have, every year you make it more and more and more, and you add more to it with the fire pits, and I think you had scarves one year. And I mean, it seems like every year it gets enhanced, which is also really cool to see that not only do you guys do an event over and over, which people really like, but then you make it better each year, which is really neat to see.
Thank you. So as you can see, our winter months, a lot of people think we're very quiet in the winter because of the snow outside, but we're actually just as busy in the winter as we are in the spring and the summertime. So we're coming up on Frostful, and the snow is also an issue for us at some of our events. So we're working through that, maybe pushing off some things, but excited for Frostful and excited for the rest of our winter months. So now we're going to go into spring and summer events, and we are going to touch base on Neighborhood Sports Series, which was a new event last year, Learn to Build, which was also a new event last year, Midwest Kid Fest, 701 Day, and Island Park Show.
So like Stephanie mentioned, Neighborhood Sports Series, new event for 2023. The goal there was to get kids outside, play with their friends, and in the summer. And we had it in the afternoon. We had 3 of them in 2023, and we'll also have 3 more here in 2024. So we had some cool activities. Foursquare, we brought that back. Everybody forgot about that. The kids enjoyed that. Had to teach some kids how to play, but it was good. We also had basketball because at all the parks we had basketball courts there as well. We had football toss, which was super cool. And we had through all combined, about 500 people show up throughout the 3 events. So very cool there. The awesome thing about Neighborhood Sports Series was a partnership that we did. We had 2 partnerships with Courts Plus and then with Tri-City United Soccer. So at each one of the events we had in 2023, both of those 2 organizations showed up, and Tri-City ran a youth soccer club, which was super cool. Got everybody excited about that. And then Courts Plus had a youth fitness class as well for all 3. So very cool, geared towards ages 5 to 12, and excited to bring that back in 2024.
Hey, Pace, which 3 parks did we go to?
Great question. Claire Barton, Madison, and Brunsdale.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And what is Foursquare?
Come on.
Are you serious?
Don't know what Foursquare is.
Are you?
I'm actually serious.
Yeah.
but
So
we can take it out.
Four squares.
Yep.
Each person's in a square, and then they try to hit it through each other's square,
Try to hit what?
like a dodgeball ball.
Oh, interesting.
we can play later.
Yeah, wonderful. We'll learn.
They
that and
actually
pickleball.
now even have Foursquare in the air.
There we go.
Interesting.
Yeah, the expert over there. How about that?
Wonderful.
Another 2023, a new one we had was Learn to Build. This is super exciting at Rowe Farm. It's a registration-based event. 40 people, 40 kids showed up. Very cool. And sold out $10, so we kept the price really low. And this year, or last year, I should say, we did birdhouses. And I do have to give a shout out to the Fargo Parks, the carpenters there, Nick and Wade. They did an awesome job. We had to make some modifications to the birdhouses. You know, ordering from Amazon, some things can happen. So to get them rolling, we had those guys help us out, and they were at the event as well, and just help us tremendously with the kids, putting them together, things like that. There was good instructions, but we needed those guys to help us even more. So McGough was also another sponsor, and a great sponsor because they bought hard hats for everybody, all the kids. So to really, you know, go into that Learn to Build. They're learning with the hard hat, you know, being safe, which is good, right? And so just another great event. So the big one for this was, it's a new one, Learn to Build. I just wanted to kind of get kids and their fathers or their dads, if they're not, you know, do it their own out in the garage, to get them to come to Rowe Farm and do something on their own and actually build something. So excited to bring this one. We're going to have 2 more in 2024. So we're going to add one as well.
Double in it.
Yeah, how about that?
Bring this down. Okay, so Midwest Kid Fest, this last year it was very successful. We had about 11,000 people attend, which was great. We always is that about what we average at or what we aim for. This past year was special because we had Penny and Pal's final show since she retired the previous year, but she wanted to do a final show since she didn't do it the year before. So this was her last year, which was really special because she helped started Midwest Kid Fest. So it was fun to have that. For this upcoming year, we do, it is the 25th anniversary. So to really celebrate this thank you, monumental year of the Midwest Kid Fest, we're going to do some special things to make sure that we, you know, really pull out that it's the 25th anniversary and that we've been doing this great event for so long. And then just to recap that, if anyone doesn't know, Midwest Kid Fest is our, I would say, kid wonderland at a park. So it's just lasts on the first Friday, usually of June. And it's a really great event and kids love it. It's crazy with kids. This past year, we did add the sensory-friendly zone. So that one, again, we partnered with North Dakota Autism Center to help us direct not only with how to incorporate this sensory-friendly zone, but also to just incorporate it throughout the whole event. So we had a couple of sunglasses, fidget spinners at our booth, and then at the sensory-friendly area, we had Leica Creations. So that is a business organization in town that actually makes sensory kits. So their business came in and ran the whole event, or ran that whole area for us. So that way we were able to be inclusive in that event as well.
All right, the next event we're going to talk about is 701 Day. So this is just a great event in the summer to kind of celebrate the great state of North Dakota and why we love it. So 701 comes from our area code 701, as well as the day the event takes place, which is July 1st. So yeah, it's just a great day to celebrate everything great about North Dakota. And we're really hoping it's something that can grow and become a statewide event. So.
Okay, and then for the final event that we're going to touch on is Island Park Show. So that is our last kind of summer event, I would say. It is a arts and craft juried vendor show. So this means that the vendors actually have to go through a juried process. So they present their pictures of their product to us in the spring to be accepted into the show. And then once they are accepted at the show, we actually do have a panel of juries who go around and judge each of the vendors. So that way they can, if they are to our standard, we accept them in for the following year. So we do have it's very competitive. It attracts about 10,000 attendees to this event, and we get about 70 plus vendors. And truly, we've been building that up since, unfortunately, during COVID, we had a lot of people who weren't able to make it, and then kind of they might have retired after that. So we've been slowly building up the amount of vendors that we have. So we're excited for this next year. This past year it was the 43rd, and this year it's going to be the 44th.
So looking forward, as an events department, it's really important to us that we're constantly strategizing, thinking, making our goals, and thinking what the next couple years look like for us. So new events is obviously a huge one. We want to make sure that we are always looking at what other communities are doing, new trends that are coming up in the event industry, making sure that we're trying new things. Now, not every new event is the most perfect event and the community loves it, but we still want to be trying those events and seeing what sticks. So with that, I think we have some really exciting things coming up with new events, some really fun ones this summer, as well as looking into the future and hoping that maybe in 2025, even we can start to think about what's the next new big festival we can bring to town. We have Island Park Show and Midwest Kid Fest and Fall in Fargo that we've done for years and years and years. A goal that we've talked a lot about within our department is maybe it's time we bring in that next big event. We have the staff now, we'd feel comfortable to do that, but with that comes a lot of research. It comes a lot of what does the community want? We want to get the community involved. We've touched base with our marketing department. How can we get the community's input in this and impact? And we want it to be something that can grow. And in 25 years, people can be saying it's the 25th anniversary of that. So that's a goal that we're really excited about. The revamp of current events. Again, this is really important because we want to keep events, the aspects of events that people look forward to when they come year after year. Or I brought my grandkids here and this thing is the same, but we also want to keep things fresh and entice people to come back year after year. So it's really finding that balance of keeping things traditional while also keeping things new and exciting for people to return year after year. The inclusivity we touched a lot about, but I think there are so many more organizations within the Fargo-Moorhead area that we can really work with to help us make these events as inclusive as possible. Because as Tatiana said, we're not the experts in a lot of these areas. So we want to make sure we're doing it the right way and we're doing it the proper way. So with that, it's reaching out to community members who are more than excited to work with us. So we want to make sure that's something that we're continuing to do. We also want to make sure we're expanding our footprint. So like we mentioned before, we're in 25 parks. Our events take place in 25 parks. Most of us in the room know that's a drop in the hat of all the parks that we have and that we operate. So how can we expand our footprint and get more events into more neighborhoods to make it more accessible for every single person that we serve as a community? So that's a really, really big goal of ours. I also just want to point out that these events would not be possible without many people across the park district. And we are very grateful that we have so many people who support these and back these within the park district. And our operations team is amazing. Our marketing team, I mean, the list goes on. So we feel really lucky that way. And with that, if there's any events that you really were hoping to hear about that we can touch on, or if there's any questions for us, we would love to answer them.
I think it's safe to say most of your events there's no charge.
Yes. We have very few registration-based events, or it's certain ones like Learn to Build where we needed a registration because we simply need to know how many kits to have there.
Yep.
And we didn't want to have too many people. So keeping that number really low, that $10, really just so we can have, $10 is enough where people will still, okay, we paid $10, we need to go to this event. And I heard really amazing feedback with people really appreciative that we kept that cost really low.
But the vast majority of the things you guys do
Are free.
anyone can show up
Anyone.
and
Mhm.
come and go as they choose,
Mhm.
and they can do them multiple times. So you
Yep.
could go to Santa's Village every night if you wanted.
If you really wanted to get what you wanted on your Christmas list, go to Santa's Village every night.
Well, I didn't tell you how many times I was there.
Yeah. No, really. And we try to make sure our events also range in ages. So we're not just having super, kids events. We have something for everyone and all different ages. And yeah. Any other questions?
Well, I don't have a question, but you guys are to be commended for their passion. I mean, it just oozes when you're standing up here. It feels really good to listen to you guys and talk about, the things you're doing, and you make Kevin look way better than he really is.
I know.
But so congratulations on a great job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really do. I think we can all say that we really do love what we do. And I think it's really cool when we go to these events and see how impactful they are to some, it could just be something very small, but we could go on of stories we've heard of people saying, my grandmother brought me to this movie night and I'll never forget. I mean, the list goes on. And I think that's what really brings us so much joy in our jobs and why we continue doing what we love to do.
And I think the numbers reflect it too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's speaking from personal experience, when you work really hard
Yep.
and see people show up and enjoy it, that's inherently satisfying.
And making
as
those
well,
memories.
you
Mhm.
know,
And
so-
Kevin is to be commended too. so.
Yeah.
I'm just there for the support. I'd also add, they do an amazing job. They're in several parks, obviously, as they talked about in the community. Things that they didn't mention is they're involved with the groundbreaking events, the ribbon cutting events. They take the lead on that. They're part of the grand opening that will be coming up with the new sports center, Island Park Pool, and the NDRPA. Stephanie and her team are heading that up as well. So some things that are on the horizon that we didn't mention.
Fantastic.
Great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much for
Thanks for
allowing us
coming.
Thank you very
to
much.
talk. We'll talk events anytime you want to hear events. Grab all my papers.
All right, up next, we have the 2023 Foundation Annual Report. Mr. Craig.
Stop that,
Buer.
Craig.
Yep. I'm glad I'm not following that.
Bring the fun.
The bar was set high tonight, which
And the
is
events
great.
team does
They
help
talk
with the
fun, you
foundation.
talk money.
Yes. Well, good evening, commissioners. Tonight, I'll be presenting the 2023 annual report for the foundation. It was certainly an exciting year and a year of transition. 2023 was my first full year as executive director. Brian Ehret, my predecessor, did a fantastic job, as all of you know. And we transitioned to full-time executive director, Becky Bjornson, who joined our team here January of 23, formerly with the Recreation Department. She's been a great add to our team. Obviously, her knowledge of the Park District and her experience has been very helpful. Didn't really skip a beat with her, so excited to add her to the team. We also, Darren Dunlop, who's with the Chamber, great community leader, joined our foundation board this year with Kaylee Mork having to resign her position to join the Park District team. And then Dr. Joe Deutsch joining as a representative of the Park District board, as Park Board, excuse me. So we did restructure to more of a committee structure, which I feel is working well as far as having an executive committee, a development committee, and a planning committee. So still growing that aspect of being more of a working board, but it's going very well. But in your packet, we have our annual report, again, just touching on our mission and what our purpose is. Also, just want to highlight a few of the highlights from last year. And I'll take one step back. I guess I had the remote right here. So just to touch on who's a part of our reminder, Mike Erickson, Stacy Griggs, Chad Marsden, Rock Messerschmidt, who recently retired from Bell Bank, will continue to work with us on our board. Melissa Brandt, Darren Dunlop, and Dr. Joe Deutsch. So just a few highlights. Obviously, the Fargo Park Sports Center facility has been a major focus. An exciting year, to say the least, with all the construction progress that we've made. I think one thing we're seeing as a foundation is when we give tours of the facility, we gave 3 tours today to potential donors, and it's really, really fun to see people's reaction walking through the front doors and seeing this facility. I commonly hear the word "wow" when they walk in. So I think it's been obviously a great addition or a great tool for us to walk people through the building, talk about where their name potentially could be held within the facility. Feeling really good about progress we've made with potential donors. Today was a great day. We had 3 different groups go through. 2 of them made comments will be definitely a part of this project moving forward. Island Park Pool project as well, breaking ground this year. To date, we have secured $1.3 million towards this project. And we are partnering now with the FM Gators moving forward. We'll be launching a campaign in the early summer of 23. And obviously a natural fit. This is of 24. Obviously, this facility will change what they can do as a swim team in many different facets. So we'll be really focusing on that starting in the summer. Again, the progress, people just seeing progress. I know it was a lot of earthwork done this summer, but the excitement is building when we show the renderings of what's coming to Island Park in that pool. Another addition to a focus for the foundation was we transitioned our foundation golf event to a fundraising event for our youth scholarship program. There was some questions how this would go and what kind of reception we would get, and we filled our 100 players, 25 teams. As you can see, we raised over $17,000 towards our scholarship program. The goal was $20,000 for the year. I feel really good going into next year. I've had many other people that heard about it and want to be a part of it. So I'm very confident we'll reach our goal in 24 moving forward as well. Also wanted to highlight a partnership we formed with Dare to Stand Out, a great organization came forward, and Rock Messerschmidt, I call him the connector. He just knows people and he knows who to get in the right room. And they have this incredible mission to honor Chris Mapes' brother, who passed away in the last few years, and his passion for golf, dealing with physical disabilities. And we were able to secure to add. We had one solo rider golf cart in our system before, and to finish out 23, we now have 4 carts. So 3 solo riders and a Verticat, which is an unbelievable piece of equipment. Exciting to see where this goes. The golf pros, I know Matt Cook, we've been really working closely with Matt Cook and the other pros. But this equipped Verticat, which is featured in the top picture there, person that is an amputee, has limited leg or usage, can golf a full 18-hole round with that piece of equipment. So exciting to keep moving forward with them. They've helped raise dollars, and our foundation secured a major gift towards that for next year. So exciting to see what our golf pros come up from a programming perspective on this. I think working with Wounded Warriors and other different groups with this, this is impact. I mean, when we start adding equipment in this programming, just real quick, there's this young gentleman from Moorhead who has some very serious physical disabilities, and he was golfing on his knees. I mean, this young 16-year-old loves to golf, and he heard about our equipment, and he has been using this on a regular basis, and his dad tears up when he talks about it. This changes his life. So exciting to continue this moving forward. I think we'd love to see this adding more to each golf course moving forward. I know there's other communities that have heard about this program, and I think we might be a good catalyst for this for public golf courses in our region moving forward. Also want to highlight our events that we have throughout the year. So kind of fitting that we have our events team here tonight we had our VIP event last year, and that went incredibly well, inviting all of our partners to help make that project possible. We also had our foundation golf event that we touched on. So I think a sense of community is really what we strive for with our events with this. And, between the beam signing event, the VIP event, the golf event, looking forward to next year doing our, a partner appreciation grand opening event. It's going to be a wonderful celebration. And Stephanie and her team are working closely with that as well. The last page in the document is just a list of our donors and our partners throughout the year. I also do have a budget that I handed out here to commissioners, and just want to highlight, we're working closely with the finance department, and this year we really, kind of a first year having a really detailed budget, and I feel really good about we were within $2,000, just $2,000 under budget for the year. As we move forward, we'll be able to dial this in even more. But thank you to the finance department, Becky Bjornson, who keeps track to the penny as well. And so yes, feeling good moving forward. Just want to touch on to date, the foundation has secured $46.3 million between capital gifts and in-kind services to our projects. And, I'd say conservatively, the Park District investment of $1 million in that. So very proud of that return on investment as a whole. We are, very fortunate to the group of leaders we have on our foundation board. They are obviously volunteering, always willing to help me with situations and looking for, contacts for donors. So I'm very blessed. I mean, we have a great team, all very focused on our mission as well. We touched on Giving Hearts Day mentioned earlier. So we are working with our events team, our marketing team for Giving Hearts Day on February 8th. So we've shot promotional videos, really focusing on, of course, the Sports Center facility in Island Park Pool. We do want to announce that we do have a $225,000 match from the Hector Foundation to start. I'm working on another match potentially to get that number even higher. So again, the last 2 years, we've been very fortunate to be the top fundraiser for Giving Hearts Day with these campaigns. And we look forward to another successful Giving Hearts Day this year. We are a month away, so it is definitely go time on that front. So with that, if you have any questions, I'd be glad to take those this time.
So I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. If I got approached by somebody right before the holidays about wanting to sponsor a bench or something out at Rose Creek, is that all funneled through the foundation now? I know we talked about that's where those kinds of requests need to go, but.
Sure. Yes. A great question. And we are working with the Parks Department on that. So we do have a way to do that now. We're trying to make that more fluid moving forward. So we do have a structure for park bench, shelters, and I think we're looking at eventually trees, if I'm correct. Yeah. So again, that's another area I think we'll definitely be able to expand on. I think as, obviously the focus is so heavy now on the Sports Center. Definitely a goal moving forward is definitely pushing very hard in the Sports Center facility in 2024. Launching the Island Park Pool campaign early summer will be a major goal as well. Increasing our scholarship dollars to get up to our $20,000 goal, and also charitable gaming. We are looking to open that here in 2024 with CJ's Tavern at Rose Creek. So wheels are in motion for that as well. And then also filling our last 2 spots on the foundation board to get to 9. So any other questions?
Great work,
Yeah,
Craig.
thank you, Craig.
Great work.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order? All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.